Yeah, it's your boy Fist in his house, bringing another great edition of Call of Duty 3 from me to you, because that's what I do. And I'll tell you what, I went out and I bought this game because the reason I bought this game, I mean, I've been busy, you know. Valentine's Day came up, and then, you know, I had a lot of stuff that I was doing. You know, sometimes you just, you know, you do your own thing. Like, you know, there's other things besides YouTube and Call of Duty videos, and, you know, I don't expect you guys to watch everything I post and stuff. I did post that video, you guys. If you want me to do like commentating over your clips, send them to that last video that I posted. So that's gonna be pretty cool. But I'm gonna do 2 Call of Duty 3 videos today, and you know, this goes to, like, I mean, I guess it's kind of like a double-edged sword, you know, and I don't want it to seem like it's, you know, like I'm being hateful. You know, here's the way I look at it. If somebody doesn't love you, they're not gonna tell you, you know, what to do with your life, or they're not gonna give you any advice. If somebody doesn't care about you or loves you, they would never give you any advice. So this goes back to like a couple weeks ago, and then I got into, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird because a developer from a Call of Duty game just, like, I don't know, just kind of was weird with their Twitter tweeting at me, like, you know, like saying things were impossible to put in a game. I don't see it, you know. But I'm gonna go over more of that in depth this weekend. It's gonna be interesting because then you're gonna be able to visualize the things that I'm talking about. But I do want to talk about in this video is that this was the last Treyarch game that, I mean, to me, this is the last Treyarch game that had the best gun-on-gun gameplay. It was the last game that was fundamentally made by Treyarch that focused on the gun game. And what I mean by gun game is this. You know, when you have, like, this Thompson gun, you know, the counterpart to the Thompson gun would be the MP40. The counter to the bar would be, you know, the MP44. The counter to the, you know, the one-shot rifle for the Germans would be the M1 Grand. Every gun had a counterweight to it. You know, they specifically had their abilities where the weapons were equal. You know, this is when you literally had to be good at shooting your weapon. I mean, to me, it was a great improvement on Call of Duty 2 because the gun-on-gun play, you know, there was no pausing between drop shotting, and the thing about it is that the drop shotting wasn't even that significant, but at least you could go down, and if you got into a close firefight, you could, you know, shoot off the hip, and it was safe to, like, it made sense to be in a close quarter combat, or you could shoot and give somebody the elbow. I mean, you want to solve the knife problem in Call of Duty? Bring back the elbow. You got two. You can shoot elbow or elbow. Either way, shoot elbow. You don't even need a knife. You know, so that's when you knew it was a gun-on-gun gameplay. When you know got gun-on-gun gameplay, when they literally they took out the knife, so you wouldn't be, you know, getting frustrated about the knife, and you'd say, okay, if he got me with 2 elbows, then I deserve to die. If you get shot and then elbowed, you deserve, nobody's gonna complain about that. So overall, if you look at every other Treyarch game, World at War, the MP40 was completely overpowered. Nothing was comparative to it. I mean, everything was disastrous after that point. I mean, even if you look at Call of Duty 4, it wasn't as balanced as Call of Duty 3. The weapons did not equal each other. There was no counterweight. And then when you look at Black Ops, you had the FAMAS in the AK-74U. That was it. You had 2 guns. They are so focused on fucking dressing up the Christmas tree that they don't even know, they don't even care about the gun-on-gun gameplay. You know, I mean, I don't care about all this other bullshit that's in the game. I mean, that's why people don't like it no more. I mean, it takes me like, I mean, I wind up, I want to go into prone position. My guy flies across the fucking screen, goes into a dolphin dive. You know, or I can't go, you know, I have to stop running, and then, I mean, these guys can run and reload, and, you know, the gun gets out of the way, they can run. You have to remember, it's a video game. You have to stay within the parameters of enjoying yourself playing the game. When it becomes this issue where you got, like, you know, it's like opening up a file in the computer, and it's like running tabs on your game. And what I mean by running tabs is like, one tab's for the gun, the next tab is for proficiency, the next tab's for attachments, and it fucking goes down, 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 down. And you know what? By the time you fucking go through all those tabs, I mean, shit. I want to just shoot people. That's all I want to do, right? That's all you want to do. They got away from that. So anyways, I left a message on Twitter, and maybe, you know, 140 words, it could get misconstrued. But sometimes when you've been at a company so long and you forgot how to make your video game, and maybe you need to go back and play Call of Duty 3 and realize, you know, what the gun game used to be like and how great it was. I mean, that's specifically what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, you know, anything else. I'm just talking about the gunplay. And, you know, if you go back and you look at that, that was the fun part about these games. The fun is gone from all that because now they're trying to add all this extra shit. So on Twitter, I'm like, yo, you know, I made a suggestion, and I was talking about the gun pack, and I said this a long time ago. I got tired of map packs. I mean, now they completely screwed up the map packs. Instead of getting all the maps and keeping people's interest all at once, it's like a big ass roller coaster because they already got your money. You get 2 maps. You don't even get to play with the majority of the population of the game, and then it dips really low, and then you get 1 more map the next month. I mean, it's not even cool. It's kind of like a downer. So now I'm like suggestion. I said something to the effect, why can't we have a gun pack? And you know, they said it's impossible. What's so impossible about having a gun pack in the game? Just put, for example, 20 guns in the game, and then you only release, I'm just using this as an example. If you start with 20 guns initially in the game, then when the game comes out, hypothetically speaking, you start out with 10. The other 10 are there, they're just not unlocked. And I was like, why don't you just release a gun pack and, you know, you could charge money. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Well, okay, if you don't want to, not gonna charge money. Like, using the excuse of charging money like it was an excuse. We'll just give them for free with the map packs then. How about that? It doesn't matter. The point being is, why it's such a great idea is that when these people are used to these 10 guns that are in the game, hypothetically speaking, is that now, when you release the other 10 guns, time release them, in your map packs or whatever, then the people have to compensate. They have to use those weapons to figure out if they're if they're missing something, and that's what keeps the interest in the game. I don't see why it would be a problem, and I don't see why the game's getting so far away from gunplay. It don't make no sense to me. But anyways, if you love somebody, if you love something, you give them you give them advice. If no one gives a fuck about you, they don't care what you do. Guess what? You wind up being shit by yourself in jail. Hypothetically speaking, in a roundabout way, if that makes sense. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this Call of Duty 3 gameplay. We'll be uploading some trench gun gameplay next. It's your boy Fist, doing it like I do. Until next time, peace, and I'm out.